My God, why have you forsaken me? Over the years, my dad and I have had an ongoing discussion about these haunting words, last words of Jesus. They're found both in Mark and Matthew's gospel, though not in John's. These words are deeply unsettling, disturbing to the point of shaking one's faith. Did Jesus truly feel abandoned by God in his darkest moment? Did God, in some unfathomable way, experience doubt about God's self? During my time in seminary, my dad called me one day with a new explanation that he had heard. Perhaps Jesus wasn't experiencing doubt at all. He explained that in his Bible study, they learned that instead, Jesus was engaging in an ancient tradition of Jesus' time that is lost to our own, a tradition of citing the opening line of a psalm or some other familiar scripture to invoke the entirety of it. It would be something akin to, but not exactly, saying like, "we the people," to refer to the whole Constitution, or "to be or not to be," to invoke all of Hamlet's famous soliloquy. My God, why have you forsaken me?" So by quoting the first verse of Psalm 22, Jesus also recalled, "I will declare your name to my brethren. In the midst of the congregation, I will praise you," which is the 21st verse of that psalm. So Jesus was not despairing, but asserting unwavering faith as that psalm moves from despair into triumph. It was a comforting thought and a soothing answer to a profoundly disturbing question that my dad and I had. Yet questions, sometimes, well, they're meant to disturb us. Madeleine L'Engle, reflecting on the power of questions, writes, quote, "Sometimes simply being open, refusing to settle for finite answers, disturbs the universe." Questions are disturbing, especially those that threaten our traditions, our institutions, our security. But questions never threaten the living God. End quote. We have all faced questions that disturb us deeply. What if the job I've worked so hard for suddenly disappears? What did the doctor mean when they said, "We need to run more tests"? What if the relationship that I trust and love falls apart? What if they don't feel the same anymore? What if my child struggles and I can't fix them? Questions disrupt our peace and challenge our sense of security. They can shake the foundations that we've carefully built, relying on ourselves and our own power. Good Friday itself is profoundly disturbing. Ever since my dad and I considered that explanation, about Jesus quoting Psalm 22 from the cross, I've acknowledged it as theologically sound. But somehow, it never sat completely right with me. There remains a lingering discomfort and unsettledness about, my God, why have you forsaken me? Easy answers to disturbing questions can feel superficial, like placing a Band-Aid on an emotional wound. Part of me needs Jesus to have truly experienced despair. Part of me longs to know that God has been utterly disturbed, shaken by doubt, consumed by the same darkness and anguish we all sometimes face. This is Emmanuel. That's the incarnation, God with us. The God with us I deeply hope for. A God who doesn't merely recall Scripture perfectly and calmly in moments of pain while dying on a cross, but who genuinely, profoundly disturbed alongside us, disturbed at how broken and unjust this world can be. Who can fully understand what Jesus truly meant when he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? We will never have a clear and comforting answer. Yet Jesus also said clearly from the cross, it is finished. This is not a question. This is a powerful declaration. The ultimate response to the most profound questions we have and that we will ever face. Today, on Good Friday, I pray that we resist the temptation to rush towards easy, comforting answers to the disturbing questions of our lives. May we instead have the courage to sit with Jesus in pain, uncertainty, and doubt and despair, recognizing that our own Good Fridays can stretch painfully and agonizingly long. Perhaps you have been enduring or are enduring your own Good Friday for some time now. Jesus declared, it is finished, but we are still here, disturbed and uncertain, daring to hope that the story does not end here.